Tonight, two teenagers sentenced to life for the murder of a 14-year-old on a bus in Woolwich. Kellyanne Bokassa was repeatedly stabbed with a machete while travelling on the 472 bus in January. His killers pleaded guilty. Both had previous convictions for carrying a blade.
I believe that it was failed, just like those two children. I think they were also failed. Three of them, they're all victims to me.
Also ahead, doctors on strike. A 5-day walkout begins at the capital's hospitals. Thousands of patients face delays or cancellations. New laws to protect children from online harm. We speak to two mums who say it's still not enough. And Oasis back at Wembley and why it's even more special for one London fan.
30 years ago, we came down to this street, Berwick Street in Soho, and shot the front cover of what ended up becoming one of the biggest selling British albums of all time.
Good evening. The mother of a 14-year-old boy who was stabbed to death on a bus in Woolwich has said her son was failed as his killers were sentenced to life in prison. Two 16-year-old boys pleaded guilty to killing Kellyanne Bokassa as he travelled on the 472 bus in January. Today, they were given a minimum term of 15 years behind bars as it was revealed both of them had previous convictions for carrying a knife. The judge called Kellyanne's death a senseless loss. Cafe Patter reports.
Behind her sunglasses lies a pain so few know. A mother forever grieving her murdered son.
Because I still can't believe that he's gone. And he really didn't. I mean, he didn't deserve to die this way on a broad daylight. He was just going about his business, he trusts the environment he was in.
Kellyanne was the first fatal teenage stabbing of this year. His killers, who cannot be named due to their age, smiled as they stabbed him multiple times on the 472 bus in Woolwich. They then ran away, but justice caught up to them. Today, sentenced to a minimum of 15 years in prison.
This was not a case of kill or be killed. This was a callous murder aboard a bus in broad daylight.
Kellyanne's murder was a tragic end to a difficult childhood. He was groomed by gangs at a young age. His mother tried her best, but always feared the worst. You did so much to protect your son as well, didn't you?
I did so much. And I did it for years and years. I didn't want my son to be taken into care. I went to every single appointment, every single contact, even when I'm sick. During COVID, I was without my boy. It was extremely stressful for me.
To see the effects of knife crime on young lives, look no further than this court. Inside were Kellyanne's classmates, teenagers who should be enjoying their first few days of summer. Instead, there they were, crying, mourning the loss of their friend. Marie Bokassa today left court with justice served. The boys who killed Kellyanne will spend their adult years without freedom, while she lives on without her son. Cafe Patter, ITV News.
Next, thousands of resident doctors across England are on picket lines today for the start of a 5-day walkout over pay and working conditions. The NHS says 60,000 appointments in London will be impacted by the strikes, described by the Health Secretary as reckless and unnecessary. Here's our senior correspondent, Ronke Phillips.
When do we want it? Now!
On the picket line, but they say they'd rather be doing their rounds. Health workers outside St Thomas's Hospital in Westminster say their pay and working conditions are 20% lower in real terms than they were 17 years ago, and they're demanding the government acts now.
Somebody steals £10 from you and then they offer you £8 back again. You're not going to ask for the extra £2 because you had £10, and that's what we want. We want to be paid what we were in 2008, because my job is not easier than 2008 doctors.
The Prime Minister and I are so angry on behalf of patients and other NHS staff who are working hard to keep the show on the road that the BMA have taken what is reckless and unnecessary action.
Last year, resident doctors, formerly known as junior doctors, accepted a government pay deal worth 22% on average over 2 years. This year, they were awarded an average pay rise of 5.4%, the highest in the public sector. But the British Medical Association say they deserve a further 26% uplift, which they claim is needed after years of pay erosion.
Have you got your grabber with you?
I've got my grabber and I'm using it, yes, thank you, yeah.
Patients like Claire Ashton feel as though they're caught in the middle of this dispute. She needs treatment for a rare condition which affects the nerves in her spine. It was already delayed by last year's strikes. Now she fears it could happen again.
The system's broken, but that doesn't help people like me, and there's so many people out there that are waiting for operations and stuff.
NHS England has apologised for the impact the strikes will have on services, but says as far as it can manage it, it will be business as normal.
We're very disappointed that the resident doctors have chosen to take action at this time. The NHS is confident that we can provide emergency care safely for our patients, as we've done during previous industrial action.
Doctors have planned 5 days of action, and with the two sides still so far apart, there is no prognosis for a healthy solution in sight. Ronke Phillips, ITV News.
Some other news now. The actor Michael Ward has been charged with rape and sexual assault. The 27-year-old from Cheshunt, who rose to fame on the Netflix drama Top Boy, is charged with 2 counts of rape and 3 counts of assault, reported to have taken place in January 2023. Detectives say they have specialist officers supporting the women involved. And the Home Office has said it is working to close hotels and restore order after a series of protests at a migrant hotel in Essex. Last night, Epping Forest Council unanimously voted to urge the government to stop housing asylum seekers at the Bell Hotel. The new Online Safety Act has come into force, meaning tougher rules for social media companies. From today, algorithms must be tamed and configured for children so that content that promotes things like self-harm, suicide or eating disorders are not pushed towards users. The content itself must also be moderated with a robust complaints procedure in place so that inappropriate content can be flagged and removed. And perhaps the most significant change, companies, including Instagram, X and TikTok, will now be required to have age checks in place using facial age estimation or credit card checks. Well, I'm joined now by Holly Dance and Elisa Kennevan, whose sons Archie and Isaac both died tragically after taking part in dangerous social media trends. Thank you both for joining me now. Listen, you know, you were brought together, weren't you, through the most tragic of circumstances. You lost Archie and you lost Isaac. What do you make of the Online Safety Act that's come into force today? It's been a long time coming, hasn't it?
It has, because if you think about it, the Online Safety Law came into Act of 2023. So I feel like this should have gone hand in hand in like getting this a lot quicker into place. I just think with the age verification, it's a little bit smarting because children are already on these platforms. They're not going to be age checked. It's the new business in line, if you like, that hopefully is going to have some effect. But what happens to those children already on these platforms? And I think it's very concerning where they said about the complaints procedure. I have at first hand that I've complained to many videos on TikTok and they've come back no violation. So after that, where do you go? Because Ofcom doesn't deal with individual complaints.
I mean, this is what this new act is really saying as well, isn't it, Holly? This is about Ofcom now enforcing these regulations. Do you have confidence that this will happen?
Not really.
No.
To be honest. I think the Online Safety Act as well, the structure of it is weak. I think the government needs to move quickly to make that stronger. The government have been sitting on their hands for the last year and just put in a plaster effect They need to move quickly.
I mean, the government ministers are saying that this really is a game changer. The internet now is a changed place for young people. I mean, the age verification for these social media platforms is now 13. Archie was 12, wasn't he, when he sadly died? I mean, he wouldn't have been on these platforms now. So
Had the age verification been in place,
it would have made a difference. It's too little, too late for you guys, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
And that's obviously we do the workshops, and with Be Challenge Aware, that's our campaign, and we go into the schools and talk to parents to raise the awareness.
There's Archie there, look.
To raise the awareness that Keir Starmer, it's down to Keir Starmer now to basically, if I can say, pull his finger out and.
And, you know, Isaac as well. How old was Isaac?
Isaac was 13.
He was 13, so he would have been allowed access to these platforms.
I mean, back then in 2022, we made that decision for him to be able to have that because his older sister had it, and it was all very innocent. But as we all know, everything's got quite sinister on these platforms, and to make sure that this doesn't happen to anybody else is very important. And I think doing something's better than not doing anything at all, but it's a little bit too late.
But, you know, just to point out, TikTok always say that they proactively find 99% of the content
we love that.
Removed for breaking rules. That's what they say. But for parents out there, you know, despite these new regulations, for parents out there who may be worried still, like you say, who already, you know, they're already 16, they're 13, they're on it. Any signs they should be looking out for?
I think with having that open dialogue anyway, and we strongly feel that just hold off giving your child social media under the age of 16. Just it's easier to do it now and then post trying to take it away from them. The parents get peer pressure, you know, and this is why it's a calling that the government should really be forcing that, like, schools should be doing a blanket ban, not leaving it up to individual schools to make that informed choice where they feel lost at sea.
All right, well, listen, Lisa and Holly, we appreciate you coming in to talk to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, next tonight, with the warmer weather comes, unfortunately, more danger on London's waterways. Emergency services are out across the capital today after a sharp rise in incidents this year. The London Fire Brigade has already responded to more than 380 water emergencies, and accidental drownings are nearly 4 times higher than a decade ago. Antoine Allen reports.
Practice saves lives. An increasing number of people are getting into trouble in London's waterways. The Royal National Lifeboat Institution, the London Fire Brigade, London Ambulance Services and other emergency services and volunteers train together in Richmond. Since January, 15 people have died after entering London's rivers. The LFB have had over 380 call-outs for people in distress in the water.
We are seeing with the increased hot weather that people are seeing the water as an option to try and cool down. But obviously one of the hazards within the water is unseen hazards, so although it may look appealing, you never know what's below the water.
The summer brings an increase in socialising, bringing more people to the rivers. Emergency services want the public to know about the life-saving equipment they can use to offer assistance if someone else gets into trouble.
We'll dial 999, that will go through to our control room. The control room will then be able to give you the code which will enable access into the box. Inside the box is what we call a throw line. The control officers will then give advice to the members of the public about how to use the throw line.
I'm going to aim past the casualty in the water so they can...
On dry land, children and parents learn the correct technique of how to use the throw lines.
Helping them to understand it and have fun with it at the same time so they're not scared.
And I think now with this rescue team we feel more safe.
This training exercise is necessary for the different emergency services that operate on the river to learn how to support each other when they receive a 999 call. When it comes to rescuing someone in the water, every second counts. Now, if the throw bag hasn't been able to get them out, the emergency services will eventually arrive. But in order to hopefully save your life, you have to stay calm and wait for the experts to do it. With more hot weather expected, today's message is simple. Be safe in or out of the water. Antoine Allen, ITV News.
Still to come. It's a supersonic night. We're live at Wembley as Oasis get ready for a run of shows, and
the other good thing about the O2, it's got the secret room that performers can go to which you go.
John Bishop on why the O2 is every performer's favourite venue. But first, my guest tonight is fresh back from New York after becoming the unified bantamweight world champion. South East London's Ellie Scotney beat Yamileth Mercado by unanimous decision at Madison Square Gardens. There it is there. Oh my goodness me. And I'm very pleased to say she joins me in the studio now. Ellie, congratulations. You brought some of your lovely belts, because I know you've got a lot more.
And I've left with 2 without having a fight. I don't know how that works.
We would have taken them from you. Listen, congratulations. How was the fight on Friday? It was last Friday, wasn't it? How was it?
Yeah, do you know what? Still now I'm on that cloud where I'm waiting to come down, but you know, it was a surreal night for every reason, and yeah, I'm forever grateful.
What a setting, what a venue, Madison Square Gardens, wow.
I always say SE6 to MSG, how mad's that?
There's a contrast there, definitely,
100%.
Was it a tough bout? Because it was a unanimous decision by the judges, so what does that mean?
Unanimous means every judge had me winning, but I think on the scorecards it was 9-1,
okay,
10-0, so
yeah.
And
your opponent? Yamileth Mercado.
Yeah.
Did she put up a good fight though?
She was, you know, she was a reigning champion for 6 years.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, she was. It was a good fight, but I just felt like on the night it all come together, and it was a career best performance.
Is that Jake Paul?
That is Jake Paul. Yeah.
That's me. So is he presenting the belts there?
He's my promoter along with Nikisa.
Your promoter?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Next time bring him in as well.
He'll charge a fee, I think.
But listen, it was a really emotional night for you, because I know that you dedicated your win to fellow boxer Georgia O'Connor, and she sadly passed away earlier this year. She was diagnosed with cancer in January.
Yeah.
So that must have been, that was emotional for you, wasn't it? You had her on your mind during the fight.
Honestly, during the whole camp, I always say it was one of the testing times of not just my boxing career, but my life, because she's someone that, when I think of boxing, Georgia's one of my best friends that came from it. And, you know, for 10 years, how she graced the earth, but how she fought cancer was something I'll take with me forever. So
how old was she?
She was 25 years old.
Goodness.
But what she did in those 25 years, I'll make sure, you know, it'll live on. And to have her dad there ring walk with me and her mum, I just felt Georgia was in there every way.
Yeah. And listen, I know that, you know, you'll always have her in your thoughts, but also, you know, when you're in that training process as well, you're always thinking about the next thing that's coming up. So what is going to be the next thing? This is you training now. Hardcore, isn't it? What is the next thing?
God willing, you know, I'm one fight away from being undisputed, and that's completing the collection. So there's one more to go, and it looks like it'll be the back end of the year. And yeah, we've mastered the super bantamweight.
When do you think that's going to happen? Where?
I think it'll be America again.
It's going to be the US
Not
again.
Catford just yet, so it'll be back to USA, overseas.
Next time in Catford. Listen, Ellie Scotney, thank you so much. Congratulations once again for all those fabulous belts. We promise to give you the other ones back. All right, thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. Now, last time Oasis were performing in London, everyone was wearing skinny jeans. A BlackBerry was still more popular than an iPhone. And Susan Boyle was about to wow audiences on Britain's Got Talent. It has been 16 years since the Gallagher brothers last played at Wembley, with some fans paying thousands of pounds to see their much-anticipated reunion tonight. Helen Keenan reports.
We're back for it! Today is going to be the day that Oasis return to Wembley.
All the roads we have to walk are winding, all the lights that lead the way are blinding. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. Because maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all,
you're my Wonderwall.
Today was gonna be the day, but they'll never throw it back to you.
Their last performance at Wembley was 16 years ago, which might seem half the world away. But tonight, they're back for the first of 7 sold-out gigs in London.
With bust-ups between the Gallagher brothers over the years, putting plans to get back together on the back burner, when a reunion was finally announced, fans could finally stop crying their hearts out, and 4,000 of them have just headed into Wembley.
Do you ever think it would happen? There's been so many feuds and fallouts. I didn't think it would.
I had a feeling something would happen eventually.
A man who knows the band well is the photographer behind these shots from 2004. that are on display around Wembley Park.
Liam's got this maroon shirt on, and then a bit later I had a Armani denim shirt that I lent to him so that the two of them could wear blue, and he said, "Oh, this is great, I've never had an Armani shirt before." And I said, "You haven't now, mate, I want it back."
Iconic images are synonymous with Oasis. Remember the cover of What's the Story Morning Glory? Well, it was shot on Berwick Street in Soho, and that blurry figure on the cover came to meet us and explain how he ended up on it.
Was contacted by Noel, he had my phone number, he gave me a ring and said, "Do you fancy being on the front cover of our next album?" I said, "Yeah, sure," I mean, not even quite knowing what that meant at the time, and he just said, "Turn up here at this time and we'll do it." And it was, here I was in Berwick Street about 4:30 in the morning with Brian Cannon and a whole bunch of others taking a photograph of us walking down the street. That ends up being on the front cover of one of the biggest selling albums of all time.
What's the story, Morning Glory?
Oasis have already played Cardiff and Manchester, although after some turbulent years there are some concerns they could break up before making it to the Wembley stage. But fans here are rolling with it. Oasis have taken their time getting back together.
We love Oasis!
It's definitely maybe been worth the wait.
And Helen is outside Wembley for us.
We're among the thousands of fans who are kitted out in band t-shirts and bucket hats, and some, let's be honest, will have been waiting almost 2 decades for this Oasis reunion tour. And look, it's certainly the hottest ticket in town. People we've been speaking today have travelled from as far as the United States, Brazil and Mexico. And how can I sum up the atmosphere? Well, there's only one word for it, isn't there? Electric.
Ah, she's mad for it. Temperatures certainly picked up today. Let's see what the weekend has in store. Here is Philippa with the forecast.
A clear start makes way for a day of ancient discoveries. TUI sponsors ITV London weekend weather.
Hello there. It certainly has been a fairly quiet end to the working week. Quite a bit of cloud bubbling up, but as we head into this weekend, it remains equally quiet. So some bright or sunny spells. Yes, a scattering of showers from time to time, but hopefully nothing too notable. And in the best of the sunshine, actually feeling pretty warm. So today's cloud is now starting to dissipate, allowing some nice late sunshine, and then overnight tonight it stays dry with clear skies overhead. Having said that, even with the clear skies, it will be a mild and rather humid picture. Temperatures for some of us holding up at around 16 or 17 degrees Celsius. So a bit of a muggy start to our Saturday. Some early sunshine, yes, but as the day wears on, cloud will thicken from the west, and that in turn could produce a few showers. That's all tied up with just a very weak weather front. And temperature-wise, similar to today, perhaps just a shade lower. Highs tomorrow around 25 or 26 Celsius. Now, through the latter stages of tomorrow, any thicker cloud and showers will tend to clear away eastwards. Another dry and fairly clear picture overnight, and that bodes pretty well for Sunday. A fairly pleasant end to the weekend, and then a mixture of sunshine and showers into the new week.
TUI sponsors ITV London weekend weather. Making the most of summer. Piri sponsors ITV pollen count.
Well, grass pollen season is now drawing to a close, but we do have some weed and nettle pollen to contend with, and levels over the coming days will generally be moderate. Take care. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Philippa. And finally tonight, John Bishop says his new tour is a celebration of 25 years in the business. The comedian has 7 nights in the capital at the Leicester Square Theatre, Top Secret Comedy Club and the O2. And for what he's most excited about, well, the O2's secret bar, apparently. He's been speaking to James Webster.
He has performed countless shows and is one of the country's most famous comedians. But John Bishop's career in comedy started by accident back in 2000.
Yeah, I never planned to be a comedian at all, and I did my first gig when I was 34, coming up to 34. on a random Monday night.
And on that first night, you didn't actually intend on performing, did you?
No, I didn't. It was just a random... In fact, I'd only been to 2 comedy clubs in my whole life. And so I just thought I'll go in, and then if you put your name down, you didn't have to pay. So when I did it, got up that first night and enjoyed it and found that it was something you could just get into, then it was a whole new world.
I mean, thinking back over those 25 years, this must then feel like quite the celebration.
It is. And to be honest with you, that's the big thing about it. It's a celebration. I'm going to all the arenas that I've played in the past so that I can get as many people in as possible in a short space of time.
Give me a cheer in here if you're 50 or over. If you ever had to put your date of birth in on your phone and you've got to put your year in, how disappointing is that when you go...
Between August and November, John is performing 41 new shows. They start here in London on the 6th of August, the first of 7 shows in the capital, which includes one at the O2 in October.
The O2, it's funny for comedy because you'd think the O2 wouldn't work, just the shape of it, but it actually does if you make sure that the screens are big enough and the atmosphere is warm enough. And I've had some great nights at the O2. The other good thing about the O2, it's got the secret room that performers can go to, which you go in as a little bar, and then there's like a bookcase, and you push the bookcase and it takes it into another little room.
What can people expect from the tour?
It's funny because this tour has been in my mind for a while, and it's kind of in some respects a celebration of the fact that I've been able to keep this going, but also a thank you to the people who've supported me.
What, if you pause and reflect, is your highlight from the past 25 years?
You know what, I'm not entirely sure I can answer that. There are so many things that I've been so lucky to do. Some of it directly related to stand-up, some of it, you know, that's come off it, like the documentaries and the acting and so on. I just feel lucky. I feel very, very lucky. And ask me at the end of the tour, I'll probably know then.
Well, John Bishop speaking to James Webster there. And that's it from us. The evening news is next with Charlene, but from all of us on the London team, bye-bye. Have a great weekend.